Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Design Bundles. As you guys can see, I'm not Crystal. My name is actually Agata, and I'm a part of Design Bundles team. Unfortunately, Crystal couldn't be with us today because she's sick. So if you're watching us live, please leave her some love in the comments down below under this video. I'm sure she's going to come back in and read this. So leave her some love. Hopefully, she's going to be able to join us back next week. We still have a video for you and we still have a giveaway, and you are able to win free bundle of your choice. So just make sure that you're putting hashtag bundle in the comments below, and at the end of the video we will still be choosing and announcing the winner. We have our community manager Brittany in the comments, and she will be answering all your questions that you might have. And today we're going to be doing 3D beach shadow box with Cricut. So it's a beautiful paper craft that Crystal have prepared for us and prepared a video for. So once again, make sure you stay till the end of the video to take part of the giveaway. And now let's go ahead and dive right in.
Welcome back to Design Bundles YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to make this 3D project. So this is a 3D paper craft using a shadow box. So I'm using a 5x7 today. So let's go ahead and dive on into Cricut Design Space so I can show you how we made it. Starting over here at designbundles.net, this is the file that we are using today. So if you guys are a Plus member, this is only 1 Plus credit, and we will have it linked down below for you. So as you guys can see, it comes in many formats, as well as it's 4 different pieces. So it's going to be 4 layers, and it's going to be super cute. So let's go ahead and upload this into Cricut Design Space. So all you simply have to do is hit download, and then you're going to hit download again, and then you're going to be able to just pop right over to Cricut Design Space, hit your upload, and then you can browse your files and bring it right in. Now, Design Bundles has made it super easy for you, and what you can do is choose the single SVG file, and it has all 4 layers at one time. So it's going to upload all 4 files at one time for you. So what we need to do first is resize this. So what I'm going to do is I can select over everything like this, or I can click select all right here. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to hit the unlock button right here because I want to make sure that I'm getting this exactly at my 4.75 by 6.75. So what I'm using today is a 5x7 shadow box. So I'm taking it down 1/4 of an inch on each side to allow this to set nicely inside the frame. So same thing, if you were doing a 4x6, you would want to do, a 3.75 by 5.75. So I've unlocked it right here. We're going to come up to our width here, and I'm going to type in 4.75. 4.75, and then we're going to come to our height here, and we are going to change that to the 6.75 on the width, and then the height is actually the 4.75. All right, so we should have 4.75 by 6.75. Once you're done, you're going to go ahead and select it, enclosure lock. So what we were able to do by selecting all of the layers, we're able to do this at one time. So instead of coming over here and clicking these one at a time, which you can do, and you can change all of these individual. I'm definitely not going to do that. So you just select all and change them all together. Now, if you wanted to change your colors, I'm going to go with this same colors that Design Bundles has for us here. So, but if you wanted to change your colors so you know what color you're working with, if, for example, I wanted this layer right here to be in black, I would choose it, and then I would come right over here to the operation, choose the color tab, and then click on whatever color I want it to be. So same thing, if I wanted this bottom layer back here to be a blue, I could definitely click on it here and change those as well. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the colors that Design Bundles has for us. This is kind of gives me a little bit of boho vibes, but I will say that I did like it with the black as well. I do think this is super cute too, but this does give me a little bit of boho vibes, so I'm definitely going to roll with it. Now, if you notice, when we go to take this here in a little bit, I'm going to cut out with my paper trimmer I'm going to cut out a 5x7, so it's going to be exact. A 5x7, which we're going to glue on the back part of our shadow box. So all of these pieces are going to be white. If you wanted these to be blue or purple, you would cut that out like so. Now, if I wanted my Cricut to cut it out, all I could do is bring in a shape here, bring in a square, and then I'm going to unlock that square, come up here, and I'm going to change it to a 5x7, and it doesn't matter which way I do it because it's going to cut out either way. So this would be my very back layer, so I'd cut it out with a Cricut instead of with my paper trimmer. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do that with a paper trimmer in just a second. So to cut this out, we're going to go ahead and hit Make It. From here, I'm using my Cricut Maker 3, so I'm going to go ahead and choose on the mat, and then we're going to hit Done. So you're going to see we have 4 files here, but we could actually narrow these down to 2 cuts. So if we want to only have to load 2 mats, we could definitely bring this down to 2. So all you would simply do is, say for example, I come to this mat here. You see these 3 little dots here? We're going to click on them, move object, and then you're going to pick whichever mat you want it to go on. So I'm going to choose this one here and hit confirm. Now you're going to notice that the color is going to be the same as the original mat, but I know what color I need to cut this out. So for example, I'm going to put my yellow piece here, but then down here, I'm going to put that light pink color or whatever color this was. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that same process. So coming down here for this one, I'm going to go ahead and move object to this mat here, confirm, and then there you have it. Now you could definitely do this whenever you're designing it. You could just set 2 of these to the same color, the other 2 to the same color, or all of them the same color, and it's going to load as many as it can on each mat. So you can just visually remember which one needs to be what color. So when I go to load these on my mat, say for example, this was white, I'd put my white piece here. This was blue, I'd put my blue piece here, if that makes sense. So now when we go to hit continue, you're going to notice 2 of the mats got deleted because nothing is on them anymore. So this is going to save us some time instead of having to load mat after mat. So now we're going to choose our material. I'm going to hit browse all material. And I'm just simply going to start to type out card because we're working with cardstock. So whether you're working with a glitter cardstock, medium cardstock, etc., I'm going to go ahead and choose a heavy cardstock. Now my cardstock is actually around 65 pounds, but I still choose either a medium or a heavy cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and choose, I'm actually going to switch it to a medium cardstock. So I'm going to hit done just to give it that extra little bit of force. And now it's ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and head on over to our Cricut and cut it out. Okay, so now that we have everything ready in Cricut Design Space, we are ready to cut everything out. So I'm going to go over the supplies I'm using today. I'm using cardstock. I'm using my Cricut Maker 3 along with a shadow box and some adhesive foam squares. So these are the colors that I have chose to work with today. And then I will have everything I'm using linked down below. Now I have this white one here. This is going to be my background layer for my shadow box. The shadow box I'm using today is 5x7. And then I am using these square foam adhesive. This is what's going to help create that 3D effect. And then I'm also going to be using some Tombow adhesive that I'll show you in a second. So we've got these adhesive squares here. You can build them up however thick you would like your project to be. So I've got my Tombow glue here. This is perfect for a quick layer on of glue. And then I'm going to take this layer here and just glue it to the back. I'll show you that here in just a second. So now that we are ready to go, let's go ahead and bring in our Cricut paper trimmer, and I'm going to go ahead and trim these down. So instead of loading all of these colors at one time, I'm actually going to load 2 onto each layer like I showed you guys. So I'm going to cut these down to a 5x7. So I like to give myself a little bit of space to allow that cut because it's going to cut the square out for us. So I'm going to go ahead and cut each one of these layers 5x7. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and line this up and we'll cut our last ones. Now, the thing about this is I do believe, so each time we cut this, we can get 2 per, so you could do 2 projects per 8.5 by 11. And as you can see, you can even layer these up. So I'm cutting 2 at a time. I really wouldn't go too much more. I have more on the medium to heavy cardstock. So once you have these trimmed out of the way, we're going to go ahead and scoot that out. And now I'm going to bring in my blue Cricut mat. Whenever you're working with cardstock or paper, highly recommend that you use the blue mat. That's what it's designed for. It has a less sticky tack to to it, and this is going to allow it to release your cardstock so much easier. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and line these up. So remember to pay attention to Cricut Design Space and the way that you have those layered. So I'm going to go ahead and layer, say for example, this color would go up here at the top, and then the next one. Now I made a huge mistake, and I actually had clicked my second mat, so I have my colors backwards, and that's okay. I'm just going to proceed forward for you guys, and you guys will notice that the colors changed from what I had it designed out in Cricut Design Space. But just to proceed forward and show you guys it's okay. If you make a mistake, proceed forward. You never know where it's going to take you. Now, I didn't notice until this whole layer was cut out. So now what we're doing is we're just loading it into our Cricut Maker here. It's going to check to make sure we have the proper mat. Once you start seeing that play button flashing, you are ready to go. So you'll just simply hit go, and then our Cricut's going to go ahead and cut everything out for us. So if you didn't already have all your colors laid out, cut out, I would go ahead and continue slicing and cutting those as I was going along. So we're going to go ahead and let our Cricut just cut everything out. So it's just going to go ahead and zoom. I went ahead and put it in fast forward for you guys just to kind of speed everything up. So you guys can see I'm cutting 2 different colors. Instead of loading 4 different mats, I'm only having to do 2. If I was using my 12 by 24, I could load 1 mat and be done. So here's our cutout, and the best way to remove these whenever you're working with cardstock and paper crafts is to flip your cardstock upside down. So flip your mat upside down, if you will, and then peel away from your mat. So instead of trying to peel these in this direction, flip your mat at an angle here and just slowly peel this off. This is going to help so that way your paper does not bow or curl up on you. This is going to keep our stuff nice and straight. So you can see those cut lines super nice. Now also test cut to see your thickness. Right now I have this on I had it on medium cardstock, but I would highly recommend sticking with heavy if you have 65 pounds or more. So I'm just going to go ahead and carefully remove all of these little pieces here, just remaining little bits, just kind of popping them out. So now we have these 2 layers, and now we're ready for our next mat. So to remove this stuff, super duper easy. What I'm going to do, the big pieces are so easy to remove. You're just simply going to grab them, peel them off. And then for all of these little its and bits, the biggest tip I can give you is to get one of these scraper tools right here. The smaller ones, like this from Cricut, they have this nice like scraper angle. Get it at an angle and push. They pop off so easy. So if you guys are new to Cricut or you guys didn't know this, so fast, so easy. All right, so now we are ready for our next colors. So once again, paying attention to Cricut Design Space, making sure I'm layering these in the correct position. So that way each color is cutting out the correct color. So I'm going to line this one up right here and then the next. But like I said, highly recommend use your blue mat for your cardstock and paper projects so that way it does not tear up your paper. If you use the green one, you're risking tearing up your papers. So now we're going to go ahead and load it once again. Once we get that flashing, we are going to be ready to go. I absolutely love these 3D paper crafts. They really help come to life. Now, a little tip for me also is you can get some of those string of LED lights that run on a battery pack, and you could put these in the bottom of your shadow box and then run that cord on the outside and hide that behind the picture frame, and you can have these lit up as well. Now, I'm showing you a little tip here. In between my layers, I like to clean out my my little blade here, just popping it out and pushing that button a few times. It's going to pop any of that cardstock. This is going to allow you to get a clean cut every time. So in between a bunch of cuts for cardstock, I highly recommend before you hit that go button, pop your blade out, clean it out, and then pop it back in. All right, so let's go ahead and move this out of our way. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over to remove them one more time. So you're just going to get them at an angle and peel. So you guys can see just how easy, and that's not curling up on us at all. So now that we have everything out of our way, ready to go, we're ready to put this guy together. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop out our back layer here. And so if you have like a picture on it, like the papers that come on, peel that off. And then you want to clean out your glass. The very first thing I like to do is to clean my glass inside and out, because you have fingerprints and debris. And then you don't want to go through putting all this project together and then having to pop everything back out to clean your glass. Because some of this cardboard pieces and particles will kind of float around on that glass. So highly recommend clean your glass front and back first with some Windex or at rubbing alcohol, something like that. All right, so now that our glass is clean, I'll scoot it out of the way. And now we are ready for our back layer. Make sure that all of your pieces are in the correct direction. So whichever way, if you're hanging this on the wall, whatever way your design is, make sure that those hooks are in the correct direction. Same thing with your back layer here. If it has a hook on it, make sure it's face up. Now the back layer here, this is a 5x7 frame, so this layer needs to be 5x7. So what I need to do is trim it down a little bit more. I'll bring back in my paper trimmer. And then I'm just going to go ahead and trim this down. Now this is where I was talking about inside of Cricut Design Space, you can actually have Cricut Design Space just go ahead and cut you out a layer if you want to. But to me, I think it's just so much easier to hand cut this out 5x7. So this layer we're going to be able to just glue. You could definitely use a double-sided adhesive if you wanted to, or like I'm doing here, and I'm using my Tombow glue. I love Tombow glue. It is so easy, and it doesn't like clog up on us. So it's easy just to kind of zip through here and apply our glue. So we're just going to go ahead and get a line all the way on the outside and just do a little zigzag here. And then I'm just going to smooth this out. Once again, you could definitely use your little tape runners if you wanted to adhere this to the back. Whatever color you want to. Say, for example, I was doing this little sunset. Maybe I want to do yellow or blue. You know, feel free to do whatever. Maybe you want to do a pattern background. So we're just going to go ahead and smooth this out. And then we are going to be ready for our second layer. Technically, this is our first layer, and then we're ready for our second layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to now get ready to use those three-dimensional foam dots. I call them dots, they're squares, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of line this up. You can see everything's going to look good. So I'm just going to grab our back layer here. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and get ready to apply those. Now, I'm flipping this because this is actually horizontal, so I need to make sure this is upwards. So just double checking everything here before I got started. And then we're going to put those foam dots. Now, you notice here, I actually flipped this over. This was actually supposed to be in the other direction, but I mean, it doesn't matter really, honestly, for this. Luckily, I was saved, but pay attention that you guys don't flip over those layers if they're supposed to be in a certain direction. So I'm going to go ahead now and peel off all of these. Now, there is some foam dots. They're like in a row, in a little roll, if you will, and you can actually peel them, and then you're not having to peel off all these papers. They just peel off the strip. If we can find those, I'll try to link them down below for you guys. I love trying to find life hacks that make our lives so much easier. So now we're going to go ahead and line this down here just like so. Just double checking everything looks good. And then we'll pop this guy back out. So next layer here is this one. So we're just going to go ahead and add in some more. Now you see right here, I'm trying to show you that super thin piece. I'm not concerned about it, but if you are and you want to make sure it's not going to collapse on itself, you could go ahead and take these little foam dots here and just get a super thin layer cut off with a pair of scissors, and you could get one in each corner if you wanted to. But for me, I didn't. I just made sure on the bottom half and layered that up. Same thing with the other ones. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So just layering on a few more little pieces here. These projects are so easy to whip together. Now with this, you could take some adhesive vinyl once you were done on the glass, and you could put the Thomas's, or you know, if it was a beach house, maybe you want to put the Wi-Fi password or something like that for an Airbnb would be super cute as well. It would be a great gift to give to somebody if they went on vacation. Maybe put the date on there, wedding anniversary, something like that. So lots of different things to do with these, or even just putting your kid's name on the center of that glass would be super cute as well. So once again, just putting some of these smaller little foam dots. When you start to get down to intricate pieces like this, just come in with these smaller foam dots and then line it right up just like so. So just making sure everything is lining up in the same area, just like so. So now we're ready to go. So we're just going to flip this guy back over. Once again, making sure this is at the top here before we go through putting this in here. Now, what's really cool is I decided I want to change this out. I could pull this out, pull this paper off, and come back in with a whole new paper project in a few months if I wanted to. So you could do it by season, with it, whether it was Christmas or Halloween or summertime or whatever. You could change these shadow boxes out because it's just paper. So lots of different things that you can do with these. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Right, guys, this is the time for our giveaway. For all of you who have been putting hashtag bundle, we will be able to choose our giveaway winner. So let's pull it in on the screen right now and let's click draw. Let's see who won the free bundle of your choice. Fingers crossed. Let's see. Mm, 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 mm. Almost there. Felicia Cook from Facebook. Felicia, make sure that you contact mail@designbundles.net. Big congratulations. You will be able to choose free bundle of your choice. And for all of you who are watching, make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment. Leave Crystal some love. Subscribe to our channel, and we will see you on the next one.